Alright, and welcome back everybody. You're watching the Premier League Season 3. My name is Triumphant Man, and I will be casting this match between Empire on the Dire side versus No Tidehunter on the Radiant side. Now, if you're not familiar with No Tidehunter, I don't blame you, they're a relatively new team. However, you may notice a couple of familiar faces, such as Loader there, as well as Aki. So, they've obviously got some pedigree behind their name. The question is, do they have the teamwork? Because you can have the most star-studded lineup available, but it can fall apart very quickly if they don't have good coordination. If they just don't gel together as a team. However, straight away, we have No Tidehunter. They have done their homework and they said, alright, we've got to keep the Wisp away from Funnick, because much like many from Pulse, as we saw yesterday, unfortunately for Virtus Pro, they learned their lesson the hard way. You do not let a couple of players get their hands on the Wisp, and Funnick is one of those. He has such great map awareness and game sense that he's always on the ball, showing up just as he's needed, or nipping or zipping out in the nick of time to take someone home and away from a gank. Regardless, though, we also have the Darkseer band as well. I'm just wondering if we'll see Templar Assassin, or I was about to call Batrider banned, but there he is, gone straight away. Of course, Templar Assassin and Batrider, the two really popular solo characters, get banned a lot. Now, as for supports that get banned quite frequently, often we see stuff like Jakiro get banned as well. However, Bounty Hunter, as of late, has really been getting ramped up in terms of bans. People have really started respecting the hero itself, and I think it's partially because of what IG are doing over in the Asian scene, particularly their combo where they run Bounty Hunter with the Night Stalker. Of course, Night Stalker by himself is completely and utterly fearsome, but you throw in the track speed buff, and that guy is just a speed demon. He is all over the show, destroying people. And of course, with the super gank happy powers that he has, really gels well with the Bounty Hunter track gold on top of that. But continuing this on, we have a Lone Druid picked up by NTH. Now, this may well be Loader playing this in the suicide role. Honestly, I hate seeing this. I really hate seeing Lone Druid getting thrown up against a dual lane or a tri-lane. Dual lane, not so much. Dual lane, not so much, unless it's like Chaos Knight and Wisp, then that stuff is rough. Or like Chaos Knight and a Lina or Leshrac. That is still pretty rough. But when he's used in a safe role, I think he's alright. But it's a suicide solo role that I really don't. I find it so hard for him to recover. I think a lot of teams commit him to that suicide role rather than just going, alright, cut our losses, let's just throw him into the jungle. Same way I don't like how the Western teams tend to run the Night Stalker either. Having watched IG in action with the Night Stalker, I've got to say, well, that's maybe do a complete 180 on the end. I said I didn't really like Night Stalker that much anymore, but then, I sat down, watched the Asian teams do it, and I went, okay, alright, this is how it's done. Thank you for making me shut the hell up and show you exactly what it's supposed to be. Anyway, we have Jakiro picked up by Empire, as well as the Undying. They have a very nasty mid-game here. That said, Lone Druid, of course, if he gets that Radiance up and running by about the 15-minute mark, of course, we've seen Hao and Sylar get those 13, 14-minute Radiances. That is scary stuff. If you can get the farm in, he's really going to be a bit of a powerhouse by the 20, 25-minute mark. And continuing on, they picked up a Sven as well. No Tidehunter. Now the question is, I know it looks like some of our viewers are familiar with No Tidehunter. I haven't. I will be honest here. I have not actually seen an NTH game as of yet, so I don't have a lot of ideas of what to expect. Other than obviously I've seen a lot of Loader playing with Zenith, so I kind of get the idea of how he'll play. But Sven, apparently some people were expecting the Sven pick. They're in fact saying Empire should ban Sven. We'll see if they are indeed correct here. We'll see what NTH can do with it. Queen of Pain being picked up by Empire. There's no real surprise. They're picking these powerhouse mid-game heroes, and Queen of Pain definitely fits the bill. Plenty of nasty AoE. And you throw it in there with the control of Jakiro and Undying. He can pin. If you get a good zombie swarm off, if the zombies actually manage to stack up on a hero, they're crippled. They're not going anywhere. Jakiro, if they get caught in a macro pyre for Jakiro, it's lights out. Let alone throwing a Queen of Pain in the mix. We've seen exactly how hard Jakiro can hit against squishy heroes, especially last night we saw Pulse. They were doing so well with their Bounty Hunter. And then Virtus Pro just kept locking him down inside that macro pyre, and because he didn't go for that early BKB, just dead. There was no way, even if he survived, it was on such little health he couldn't participate any further. And I feel Sven, especially if he goes from early Mask of Madness as well, can be quite vulnerable to this, or even Templar Assassin. They're kind of squishy and definitely very vulnerable to getting locked down to this. But we'll see. We will see what they decide to go with here, but definitely the firepower that Empire has initially is much stronger than NTH, just because they have that Lone Druid in there, and this could be a bit of an issue for them, but we'll see what the final picks are. This is definitely going to decide things still. And, of course, we're into the second banning phase. Now, of course, NTH had the first ban here, so what will they knock off? Now, currently, Empire, they've got one of the supports. They could look for a soft support here. In fact, what they're probably looking for, Empire are looking for probably another disabler. I think Brewmother being banned out. Also a suicide solo, as you can see, Broodmother being banned out as well. Empire definitely could do with a strong suicide solo. Meepo being banned. My mind just boggled. Okay then, Meepo being banned. Alright, that's it. After this cast, I am going to go through all these replays and figure out what the hell is going on here, because I look like an utter fool trying to commentate NTH's games while not knowing enough about them, because Empire, they're banning some interesting things here, and definitely some different picks here for NTH indeed. I need to do my homework. I really need to do my homework, it seems. But now the fourth pick for, or rather the fourth ban here for NTH. Empire, they're looking for a suicide solo, and I would say a soft support here. Jakiro definitely can handle most of the support. Of course, they could also go for a suicide solo for Enigma, and would also really help. I said they could look for another good CC/stunner. Enigma definitely would have fit the bill. He can take that suicide lane, or if they really want to, if it's too rough, if they've got Sven, another couple of stunners in there, they can go, okay, just rotate into the jungle, just abandon that lane, let them have it, and then back off. However, that could be problematic, especially if they're giving money away to Lone Druid. Lone Druid, getting some early towers really speeds up that radiance. The faster he gets at the farm, more farmed he gets. And we've seen him go toe-to-toe. If Lone Druid gets really fat towards the late game, and as long as I've got a couple of good other stunners in there, for lockdown, even a really, really hard carry like the old Morphling struggled against a relatively farm Lone Druid. Provided you backed him up with a good stun. If you got him a stun in there, if you got him a good stun like a Raw to lock something down, just let his bear and himself, he has a basher in there as well, just lock down a hero. I know his disables go right through a magic community. It's absolutely frustrating to just get bashed and bashed and bashed over and over again. Keeper of the Light though, the final ban here, and we've seen exactly how nasty Keeper and Undying can be together. Of course, with Chakra, Undying can spam his spells like no tomorrow, and of course, Illuminate Harass. If you only land a couple of low-level Illuminates, Illuminate at level 1, that's a flat 200 damage. That's a lot of damage for a level 1 spell. That's relevant well up until the 6-minute mark. So you don't even need that many early levels to be a really big threat, or at least just a huge pain in the ass in lane as Keeper of the Light, and he can definitely focus on feeding Undying. But there we go, Chen being picked up. Naga Siren Ben being selected by Empire. They have really got the setup here. They have a hell of a team, but I think you're going to see these guys pub train it all the way. They don't really have a lot of reason. I mean, they can set up a few early ganks here on Lone Druid, put the pressure on. They're going to be looking for pub trains, just knocking out all these towers as fast as they can. And once if they can get a lot of towers by about the 40-minute mark, this is going to be so hard for Lone Druid to farm an early radiance if he's under that much pressure just around the map.
10 seconds remaining.
We also have Rubik being banned there as well. The final ban, of course, Rubik fairly solid. They could have easily selected that, especially when you look at the spells that Rubik could have been stealing. Queen of Pain, her spells are nice. Jakiro, again, plenty of great spells. Undying, you can go with any of his. His are really nice as well. And now the final pick here for NTH. And I know someone's going to complain. I'm giving you about a minute, and someone is going to start complaining about how
10 seconds
I pronounce the word age. It always happens. It always happens. When I say M5, people think I'm saying Empire instead of Moscow 5. And Crystal Maiden being selected as the final support here. And this is interesting. We don't see a lot of Crystal Maiden, especially since a lot of other supports, and I think Crystal Maiden and Shadow Demon are two of the really long forgotten supports at this point in time, because they've been getting picked over. Like, they've really fallen down the list of supports, even with the recent buffs to Crystal Maiden. Her brilliance aura affecting her more, so she can spam a little bit harder. But they've definitely been falling in favor. Ever since Jakiro was buffed, of course, we've had Rubik become extremely popular. Crystal Maiden and Shadow Demon to a lesser extent have really fallen off the radar. So interesting to see her in here.
5 seconds remaining.
Obviously, Sven is very mana hungry early on, but tends to be that the Brilliance Aura really isn't relied on all that much, because a lot of heroes tend to get the early Arcane Boots. But in this case, maybe it's going to be useful, because really the only set of Arcane Boots I can see coming out from this team is Chen. Crystal Maiden is far too squishy. She'll be doing a lot of wards as well. She can't afford to spend a 1k gold in the early phase on Arcane Boots. That's just not really an option for her. It doesn't bother. She gets knocked out too easily. In fact, even Tranquil Boots are a much better option for her. They're a lot cheaper, and on top of that, they give her a bit of survivability. They give her the armor as well as the health regen. And one of the most annoying things with Crystal Maiden is, especially if you haven't picked up a couple of braces, you'll take like 150 to 200 damage, and you think, and for most other heroes, they're like, you know what, I'll sit in the lane, keep farming, whatever, move around, go gank. But for Crystal Maiden, she's got such a small health bar. I think only Pugna and Enchantress are a little bit weaker off, I think, in terms of strength gain. But Crystal Maiden, she's got such a crappy health bar. You take a couple of 100 points of damage, and suddenly it's like, well, if I stick around, I'm going to die. Someone's going to fire a nuke at me, and I'll just get killed. So you've got to go back and heal all the time. It's really frustrating. But Tranquil Boots lets you sit around, just be more active, be more supportive. because you spend less time screwing around in the base, healing up, and then teleporting around as well. Also cuts back on that drain. But the final pick for Empire, they're going with that Bane pick. Now, we've seen Bane be used a couple of times in the Premier League. Hasn't been that effective. But in this case, you look at the control this team has. This really scares me, especially with the Naga Siren setup. This really lets Bane get in to position and just start getting all of his spells in position. Let's Jakiro get into position. Let's Undying get into position. That Song of the Siren. This is going to be so effective. They can definitely afford to force the early 5v5s. And it really looks like... It really looks like NTH. They're going to have to be on the ball when it comes to counter pushing. They really need to trade for towers. Every time they start losing a tower, they have to take a couple in return, because otherwise they're going to fall so far behind so quickly. Because you go into that fight, you're just going to have Song of the Siren set up. You have Bane then sleep someone, grip another person, even throw out an Enfeeble on something. Say they could even throw the Enfeeble on someone else. Say Lone Druid, so he's not doing any damage, and grip Sven and then sleep Prismane, stuff like that. It's really annoying for them to have to deal with that. And then of course all the while you've got Jakiro throwing an Ice Path, Macro Pies, you've got zombies running around causing also havoc, Queen of Pain bursting down everybody. That is a really scary lineup, I've got to say, and it just comes down to this is the setup right here. So Naga Siren. I am definitely very worried for the Radiant draft. But anyway, let me call the players and their heroes here. So playing for No Tidehunter on the Radiant side, we have Internal Envy playing Crystal Maiden, Loda on Sven, S4 playing Templar Assassin, Aki playing the Chen. He would also like you to follow him on Twitter. There you can see his Twitter account. And then we've also got Admiral Bulldog as the final player. Bulldog will be playing the Lone Druid. Meanwhile for Empire, on the Dire side we have Goblin playing Jakiro, SS playing Bane, Scandal playing Queen of Pain, Solar Mid of course Scandal, Below Your Brain playing Naga Siren, and Funnick on the Undying. So Funnick will be a bit of a soft... I'm sort of thinking... Funnick, is he going to be a soft... No, he's actually... No, they'll give him farm. He's picked up a Stout Shield. That generally is a good sign that somebody's getting farm there. SS going to be supporting the top lane. Looks like they'll be running dual lanes here. Naga Siren going to be getting backed up there. And they've got plenty of lockdown there, so that could be pretty painful. Now Goblin finding himself in Invis room straight up. Crystal Maiden backing up. She could even throw one of these down, one of these counter wards down, and just try and catch him out. They do have 3 of them here, although actually one of them is Chen. He doesn't have any creep yet, so no big deal there. Chen actually opening up with all of her clarity and a smoke of deceit. Now Goblin's seen him, but he doesn't have any backup, so there's not much you can do about it. I will say this much: this bottom lane, Funnick has got to watch his step, as it looks like they're actually rotating somebody. Oh, what's that? No, that's the bear. Okay, this here, he's just preventing the bear from jacking lane. This has definitely been very effective. What the bear would have done to jack the wave, he would have brought the creep down here, and then you would have seen Bulldog as we get a first blood down at the bottom. How did that manage to happen? I don't understand how they managed to get that with just a low-level Ice Path and a Decay, and you've got a counter stun here, which apparently was not used. Well, that's... I'm not dead sure how that one managed to occur. But anyway, Bulldog up here. Now, what he was going to try and do was jack that creep wave, but it was nicely done there, stopping the bear from jacking the creep wave and keeping the equilibrium up here. And you see, suddenly, Bulldog has missed out on a wave of experience that he was counting on getting. So nicely done there by Bane. And I was going to say, this lane favours Crystal Maiden and Sven just because they have the dual stun there. But then again, Jakiro is here as well. And once he gets, now that he's actually getting to levels now, he's actually going to be fairly dangerous. The question is, will he bother leveling the dual breath, or will he go for the build where they actually go for Liquid Fire? They leave dual breath at level 1, and then just go for Liquid Fire, because the slow actually doesn't scale. It's just the damage, and obviously, Jakiro not really there for huge amounts of burst damage. Most of his damage comes from DOTs. Look at that Decay being spam, actually making Sven relatively squishy, forcing him to back off there. So this lane itself is actually going to be quite dangerous as well. Riptide, once they get the levels in Riptide, Net as well is going to force her to stay, well, it's going to force Lone Druid to be very careful, especially when you consider Bane is in there with a sleep, which can pin him down out of position. And along with that also, just the damage there from Brain Sap, also incredibly painful. True damage, always not nice. Now Loda getting caught out by Ice Path, countered there with the stun. Here comes Crystal Maiden from behind. There's this Chen also moving in the Frostbite there on Goblin. Here comes the Centaur Stomp, catching out Goblin again. A couple of auto tags. Goblin now about to fall. Loda getting the last hit there. And Crystal Maiden getting a bit of revenge there for that first blood.
Empire's middle tower is under attack.
Regeneration.
S4 taking the solo mid though, going 10-3, actually out CSing Queen of Pain at this point in time. Queen of Pain 7-6, although she's doing better on the deny front. So not really out CSing, just they're putting it in different areas. S4 they're bottle judging by those items there. Queen of Pain, her bottle is just being shuttled out right now. Meanwhile on the bottom lane we see Undying has picked up some early boots as well. He's currently sitting on 9 and 4. Sven actually not getting as much farm just yet. Of course, he's been forced back a little bit, having been missing his support for a little bit. Here we go, Crystal Maiden now doing the pull there, and I think they're saying, I think she just passed a clarity over to him, possibly. Nope. And now a bit of a dive here, and this is what I mean about this lane being dangerous here. Can we get the sleep in? And this is going to buy time for the cooldowns for Nagasara to come. She's just going to... Oh, she doesn't have any mana anyway. But nicely done there by Border. Actually, this is definitely something he could do against that, is use the bear to get rid of the sleep, making a complete non-factor there, although he gets boxed in and taken anyway. Unfortunately, Nagasara with the boot. She's one of the speediest heroes on base speed there. Meanwhile, it looks like, there we go, Crystal. Looks like they're over here just jacking the pull. A nice double attempt there by... A nice double attempt there by the Radiant Souls, but unfortunately Empire catching wind of that and going over and just jacking. There we go, Chikira has gone for one level there in the Liquid Farm. Will they start getting some more? And the SS now coming mid, they're going for the gank in mid, however S4 backs off. Notices it coming down. Unfortunately, this is one of the downsides to ganking from your safe lane. It's a lot easier to see the gank coming. You can see that obviously there's plenty of vision there on that cliff. You can see them coming from quite a while away. To gank from that position, you really need smoke, or they need to be out of position, pushed further up towards this area. The same kind of goes for the dire side. It's a little bit harder. It's a little bit easier because obviously you can get in behind them, but obviously it's a tower, they're guarding it, so you've got to risk taking damage, and at a low level that can really backfire quite horribly, especially if you're a squishy support. And there we go, Queen of Pain now getting the burst down, managing to knock off that refraction. However, the damage there being dished out by Templar Assassin, forcing Scandal back. Scandal though about to jump in. He's got another Scream up. He was thinking about diving in there. In fact, it would probably take out Templar Assassin. Do I have the free version? Do I have the free version of XSplit? No, this is a retail version. I haven't actually got it until 2014, so no, not a free version at all. Is everybody else okay? No, someone's saying it's fine at 720. I think it's possibly a Twitch server issue. Let me just double check. I'm dropping frames in a second, but I think you may need to refresh your Twitch stream if you're having issues with the sound, because it should be coming through normally. It looks like these guys are peeing possibly for a gank in a second, although it looks like, here we go, Phonic as well as the Twin-Headed Dragon going to head into the jungle here, possibly try and set up a kill, although Undying. Moving around from the back, he is going to get caught ahead. No, throws down the Tombstone. Crystal Man nearly needs to get away from that. There's a stun there from Sven. Neck going to go down there as well. Catching out Twin-Headed Dragon. Throws to the ice path there. Going to go for the kill. The ult from Sven will get the kill there. However, Crystal Man backing up in time. And now looks like Phonic is going to commit. He gets the kill. He's going to try and run away. He should be able to tank the tower. Sven out of mana. We do have a net in 8 seconds there from the net creep there, the Troll Warlord. As now, there we go. Nope, going to throw down a Soul Rip. Not really doing a whole lot. Sven still doing a lot of damage there with that ultimate. Here comes the net. The net is up. Can't get in range. The stun goes out, though. The net is in range. However, they stacked the disables. A couple of all last hits there, although they will get it. Chen finishing it with a nuke. Chen, though, now in some trouble. The DOT will have been enough. One last auto attack. And PhD gets a revenge kill there. Meanwhile, the ganks continue. Here comes SS coming from the side. Bulldog being caught out by surprise. Resummons the bear. The bear going to knock that off. And it looks like they're actually just going to try and dive in here. And I hope the tower's going to do enough. There's a Riptide as well. Tower, though, attacking creep. Bulldog now cuts his way free. Continuing to chop his way out here. He's got some more trees left. Chops another tree. Misclicks, heads back. Does he want to try and chop? He's out of trees. Doesn't have enough trees. He's using the bear to block. Now the gank comes from behind. Great bait there. Look at this. Now we've got S4 block him in, the bear from the wrong side as well, keeping him safe. The split there from Naga. Good escape as well. A tower attack gets the kill. And what a turnaround there. Nice bait from Bulldog, who in fact did have enough to cut his way free eventually there. No, wait, he didn't. He actually walked out in the end. Didn't use that last tango. Bulldog getting a revenge kill there. Back to the bottom line. Now just checking the CS. Looks like we... Oh, okay. This is definitely a little bit different from Phonic. Normally we see Decay maxed over Soul Rip. This time round, it's actually on... Even that, or we see Tombstone like maxed out ASAP. In this case, he's actually getting a second level in Soul Rip, which is interesting. May have been a misclick. That's also possible, but definitely not the stock standard build I normally see. And Chen does have a couple of net creep. Well, if he sends that back and keeps it, they could actually quite easily set up a gank on the bottom lane. 2 nets, plus the slows from Crystal Main and the stun there from Sven. Even Undying would struggle to take that on. He does have a level 3 Tombstone though. Obviously the Tombstone a big threat, especially to Crystal Main. She cannot, and Chen as well. They can't afford to stand around near a Tombstone. Oh, Ice Path's going to go down, set this fight up. Here we go, Decay there on Crystal Main. There's the net, turns around, tries to do a little bit of damage before she gets taken out. And now Chen moving in. Chen's got his ult up if necessary. Here's Sven ulting up, he's charging in there. There's the Warcry, gets put to sleep there by Bane. Twin-Headed Dragon is down though. The guy for Funny, the ult being popped there by Chen to heal up Templar Assassin. Templar Assassin, one more hit there. Can he get it in? He's got the phase boots, can run down Funnick here. Funnick, one last hit. Funnick gets dropped. Bane now though gets Chen. Chen's creep still chasing, throws in a net, being slowed there by the zombie. They've pinned down SS though. No responses though. Crystal Main's back. They're actually going for the Tombstone over the hero kill. Oh no, here we go. SS is still here. SS though, backup is coming. Here comes Queen of Pain. SS though, gonna regret it. SS dies. Refraction pop there by Templar Assassin. She's going for the kill. Screamed by Queen of Pain. Scandal jumps away. And there we go. Scandal escaping there. Changed his mind, popped his ult, but didn't manage to pick up a kill. Queen of Pain now picking up the gloves of haste as well. And then we've got Bulldog still in his own. How is Bulldog doing farm-wise? 14-1. You can see he's definitely already falling behind quite quickly. He's looking for about 50 CS at 10 minutes, and he is definitely not looking too great at the moment. 15-1 is a bad place to be at 19 minutes. So this is, at this point in time, he may even want to try the jungle, although he will need it warded. And possibly counter-warded as well, or someone at least guarding him in there, because obviously smoke ganks from Twin-Headed Dragon and Undying are going to be a huge threat factor.
Dire's top tower is under attack.
He's still working, you see he's still working on his treads as well. S4 there. Has picked up his face, but it looks like he's going for the early Blink Dagger. Has already got the bottle, obviously. Yeah, it's shuttling back and forth right about now, just so he can get the extra, well, basically so he's a little bit more resilient. He's getting spammed pretty hard by Queen of Pain in this lane. Obviously, Shadow Strike is a huge annoyance. Also, we should probably just quickly check the gold chart. Currently favouring the Dire side, not by a huge amount, just one and a bit thousand gold, not a huge crippling lead. 1,000 experience lead is nice though at this point in time. Obviously you want to get an experience lead early on in the game. It does help you get those level 2, level 3 ults a lot quick. Well, as long as you get them ahead of the enemy and then use that time to engage the enemy. While you had that advantage, it is quite annoying to have to fight against a team that has level 2 ults when you still only have your level 1s. So here, dual breath there. Okay, just getting a farm up those camps there. Queen of Pain has found a haste rune. CSS. Meanwhile, I should check on Nagasar. She is doing fairly well in the last. It's 56 and 11. That's not too bad. That's decent stuff. As it looks like there's a tombstone being tossed down. That's a bit of a waste. In fact, Chen may even try and just farm the tombstone. Here we go. They're just spawning zombies and farming them. They're like, you know what? That gives experience. Although, Aki actually being baited. It maybe was a big bait. Dual breath coming out as well. Aki does have his ult though. Those zombies actually doing a lot of damage. Sven though catching both those heroes. Here goes his ult. He's popped his Warcry as well. Soul Rip, can he run down Goblin? Goblak running for his life. Twin-Headed Dragon takes a fall there, and now he might even know, decides to back off. Town is hitting on Loader there. Loader with his power treads. His Warcry runs him down. Has actually gone for 2 levels in Great Cleave already. Only 1 on the Warcry. Meanwhile, it looks like Lone Druid. And now he's been hit by Fiend Grip. It has worn off. It gets knocked off there by a Root Proc there. And now SS gets cleaned up there. Net gets thrown in there. Here comes the Frostbite as well. Can we see? Where's the bear gone? In fact, I've lost track. I think the bear has actually died. There we go. Resummon. It did die and he forgot to resummon it there. Pulls it back in though. As we will have Nagasar just jump back to base. Chen though coming from behind. There's the Stormbolt. Here comes the chain stun there from the Centaur. Second one not even needed. They get the kill. And this should be an easy tower as well. Aki here with his creep. Although actually the creep wave is currently missing. They're going to have to back off for a second. We'll check the gold swing now. Still in favour of the die, but not much though. Counter gank coming from Empire. Scandal realises he needs to get involved with the bottom lane. Goblin here as well. Someone's saying the strength still doesn't grow. However, what does grow is the fact you can spam it more. Look at the cooldown difference. As we see and Sven gets it back. Look at the cooldown difference. Who was that said the strength gain doesn't grow? Yeah, Deep Freeze saying that. But of course, look at the cooldown difference. It goes from 10 seconds to 4. You more than double the amount that you can spam that spell. And if you can hit like 2 or 3 heroes in a row in a fight, that's a lot of extra strength. Like imagine if you hit 3 heroes, then you hit another 3 heroes. That's what? 24 extra strength. That's almost a Reaver worth of strength. That's a huge... I think a Reaver is 3,200 gold. You've stolen almost 3,200 gold worth of strength. Plus, you've also drained it off the enemy. That makes you very, very tough to kill. You've seen, like, we've all seen when the Undying has just like ding, 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 all of these decay stacks. It's utterly ridiculous how tanky he is. That's why we see a lot of people max out the early decay, because you could steal so much strength and it becomes so hard to get rid of in the fight. And when you combine that with Flesh Golem, it's ridiculous. It's utterly ridiculous to try and kill a fairly... It's ridiculous to try and kill Undying. He's got a little bit of farm, got his level 2 ult, and he's stolen a whole bunch of strength. But as it is, he has decided to go... I mean, I'm not banging this build. I'm just interested to see why specifically he's gone for 2 levels in Soul Rip just now. Whether or not it was legitimate, or because like pro players, they do make misclicks. It happens every now and then. We've seen more than one player do it. Here we go. He's trying to steal strength off Tempo Assassin. However, it is an illusion, so he won't get anything. Early tower down there. This is what I'm worried about for NTH, the fact that they're going to have all these early towers, but this is what they need to do. Every time they lose a tower, take a tower. As long as they can keep that up, and at least down an early footing, and make sure these guys don't situate themselves in their jungle. That's the other thing. Of course, you don't need to control lanes. You need to control your jungle. If you lose control of your jungle, by proxy, you lose control of your mid and your safe lane, because you never have any idea if someone's about to jump you in those lanes from the jungle. So it's definitely a very important thing there. And it actually looks like Empire are just going to pump trade in, but if they continually trade for towers, this won't be too much of an issue. As long as they keep control of the jungle, everything should be okay for NTH to continue farming towards mid-game. The question, of course, though, they need to hold on for a bit longer, obviously, because Lone Druid is behind, having Suicide Silence. Queen of Pain, though, blinking back. Still has her ult up, though. Another decay thrown, and they're not really doing a whole lot, though. And in fact, this is exactly what they need. They're threatening one tower, but this is what they need to do. Threaten more towers when, like, they're having their tier 2 threatened. They say, okay, well, we'll push 2 of yours. And we have here just enough heroes to delay this. Every time they come in, their creep blade's being nuked down. They're just slowing them down, pushing them back. And they will at least stack some damage on these 2 towers. See that one down by a third? Top one? No, maybe not enough damage on the top one, but as long as they can keep that pressure up, the counter pressure up, I think NTH are still definitely within this. You see the gold graph, 1k advantage in the Radiant side at the moment. And a possible attack here in the mid. The Tombstone gets tossed down. Aki now in a bit of trouble backing up there. Queen of Pain. No, I've lost track of her there. Chen popping his ult. There goes the Stormbolt there. Catching out SS. Freezing fields from Crystal Mage. She's in the macro part. And Phonic about to get taken up by Loda. Loda! Complete man mode. Charging in under a tower. 1v3 says, you know, I'll kill you all. Drops the ult there for Queen of Pain. But the speeds to Loda with the haste rune. Charging back in. No, can't make up his mind. He's got a life stealer. Decides to teleport out. And they get the tower on top of that. Great counter-attack ripped by 4 heroes down. Lose none in return. And where was Naga Siren? Back at base. A Song of the Siren could have definitely been the hugest of buzz kills right there and then. They're even going to rotate and do a Roshan kill as well at the same time, unless we see a counterattack very shortly here from the Dire side. Definitely possible. They're pinging it. So no, that's the Radiant side ping. No, they know what's happening. They definitely know what's happening. They could go for a steal, even level 2 Song there. Not going to matter too much. Needs to pop it now if they're going for this. Too late. Aegis gets picked up. Are they going to try and start a fight? Yes, they are. The Tombstone gets dropped down. We've got Twin-Headed Dragon. 3 seconds for the Macropie. They're all balled up. This is going to be crippling. Macropie going to come out. Here comes he. No, he gets hit by Frostbite. Ice Path. No, Dual Breath. Where's the Ice Path? There's the Soul Rip as well. Queen of Pain jumps in. 3 heroes lost already from the Radiant. Templar Assassin with the Aegis. About to jump back up now. Here we go. Loader backing off. There we go. The Purge there from Blow Your Brains. He's got these Purge stick there. And he's trying to get away. Loader running for his life. He's been purged. Still has God Strength, but he's got no support. He can't use his ult. Or he can, but it won't do anything. Riptide to finish him. And that's 4 down for none in return. SS still running for his life. Actually picks up a kill in return. But now he's possibly going to get taken here by SS, although SS being outpaced by S4. Queen of Pain, though, jumps in, screams, gets a kill. And that's 5 for 1 trade, or 6 for 1 if you count the Aegis loss there. That is definitely such... Oh, greedy by NTH. They had such a good counterattack there and then threw it away. No, they had nothing spotting for... Well, they had one thing spotting for them, which was the Templar Assassin Ward there, but they didn't get the hell out as soon as they saw trouble coming. Although, in all honesty, they didn't have a chance. Song of the Siren was popped. And they were gone. As soon as that Song of the Siren was popped and they were clustered up like that, it was lights out. There was no escape. Their fate was sealed. Also, a shout out to Karlikot. we go, Lone Druid, Hand of Midas there. 2.4k in the bank. He's probably looking at about 22, 23 minute Radiance. Then you might think, you know, it's not that much worse to say 15, 18 minute Radiance, but the problem is it's a multiplier, it's a force multiplier. You get the Radiance set early, not only is your team fight strong, but you farm so much faster. Having another like 5-6 minutes of a Radiance is a huge difference over not having it in terms of farm levels. Naga Siren, I really like this aggressive build. Often we see Naga Sirens go for like defensive items, just to pick up Vanguards and stuff like that early on. I really dislike that. Just because I think it slows down her aggressive ability so fast, especially when you've got this lineup here. Very, very powerful lineup. Has so much potential to be aggressive. I would definitely be very disappointed if Naga Siren went for the Vitality booster early on. In fact, there we go, full on aggression. She's going for the Manta style as well. Really maximize the usefulness of that Diffusal Blade. Bulldog there has got his Tranquil Boots, 2.6k in the bank. Queen of Pain now jumping up. Templar Assassin is here. Got her. Oh, wow, she's gone straight for her Desolator. Oh, almost disjoint there. Queen of Pain counting her lucky stars. Just getting out of trouble there. We'll have to go back and heal, though, wasting a fair amount of time. See, Fiend's Grip. Still only level 1. Actually, interesting. Bane is not even bothered with 1 level in Feeble. You see there, it's a 30% strength reduction, damage reduction. You think that's not a huge deal. You throw it on Sven, that's a pretty big deal. Especially since, you know, he's really relying on dishing out huge amounts of damage during his ult. They're not even 1 level. That does surprise me a little bit. Probably pick it up in a moment, though. Hasn't been, I suppose they've been mostly gank. Hasn't been a huge issue. He can just save for the team fights a little bit later. And Sven isn't rushing, well, actually he is. There we go. BKB is being rushed. Right about now. He has actually gone for the Mask of Madness first. But a BKB definitely on the way. Naga Siren now, Alton Orb needs the Yasha as well to finish that up. He's getting about halfway there to the Yasha. So Scandal cycling boots. Back to strength. Wants to be tough. Shen now in the jungle there. So see the ping here. What are they up to? I think she's saying possibly they want to go and do something together. Oh no, now we see Crystal Main's gone for 4 in Crystal Nova, 2 in her Frostbite. Actually did get the early level in Freezing Field, interestingly enough. And also has got only one in her Brilliant Aura as well. This is definitely stock standard stuff for Crystal Main. It used to be a long time ago. The accepted norm was 1 point in Crystal Nova, 1 point in Frostbite, and you max out the Brilliant Aura. But a lot of people, I think a lot of people transition to the nuke build because it's more offensive and they do turtle less, not too worried about giving out mana. Just like, you know what, 1 level is nice, it's gravy, it's like having an extra Basilisk, like stacking a second Basilisk for your team. 1 level, it's a really minimal investment, and then you maximize your offensive capabilities of Crystal Maiden because she's got pretty strong offensive capabilities. You throw out that Crystal Nova, the extra damage is really nice to find. Of course, the extra duration of Frostbite also fantastic. Now, Crystal Maiden, lucky there, she didn't get hit by a net. I mean, that's why she hightailed. She went up there and realized, holy crap, it's Naga Siren, she could stop me dead in my tracks. You might think it's not a big deal. But if she went in there and Crystal Maiden then got hit by a net, that would buy Naga enough time to surround her with illusions and actually just pin her in physically. Running though, there we go. Okay, no, that might have been a misclick. He's actually going for Decay now. There we go, 3rd level in Decay over the extra level in Soul Rip. So that Soul Rip level might have been a misclick, but we'll see if I get to interview these guys.
Dial structures are fortified.
Lawyer Brain, there we go. He's finished up his Yasha. He's only about 300 gold or so away from finishing up his Manta Star. Apparently he can't see Templar Assassin. Okay then. She has Invis. Oh. Nice troll. Say Templar Assassin, you might think kind of weird she's going straight for the Desolator, but in this case for the Radiant team, going for an early BKB is kind of a double-edged sword. The issue is, of course, Song of the Siren, if you pop your BKB, people can still hit you. because you're not affected by Song of the Siren. So, double-edged sword there, and even though it'll keep, say, Queen of Pain's ult away, prevent him from being hit by Macropyre and stuff like that, basically, he can still get hit by Fiend's Grip. People can still just wail away on him physically, and in a 1v5 situation, she's not really tough enough to take it, even with a few charges of refraction. 5 people just hammering on it, she's going to lose a lot of health quite quickly. So I do feel that's why Templar Assassin's got, you know what, okay, forget defensive capabilities, I just need to be able to basically one-shot, two-shot people as fast as possible. And we saw exactly how fast he melted Queen of Pain with just a couple of attacks. As apparently Loda would like a shout out to Fiskiback and Polisson. If I've probably butchered some poor Swedish person's name. I apologize. There we go. Mech has been finished up by Chen. Just gonna actually bring up the item tab, see who's got what here. See, Funny did go for a Vanguards there. Nothing really major that we haven't really covered. Sven has finished his BKB, which is actually a pretty big deal. But other than that, nobody has anything major, unless the bear's carrying something. Hang on, let me just double check the bear itself. The bear has got his Sacred Relic. The Radiance is only about 500 gold away, so yeah, I was about right. 22-25 minute Radiance. It's in between that, as we see a big stack of Ancients here. There's a triple stack right there. A lot of money there. They want to take this away before Sven stumbles across it, otherwise Sven will just eat it alive. I like this fact they're pushing at the same time, keeping the pressure on this tower with the Naga Siren illusions. There we go, just moving them in. They'll riptide the creep there, although actually just running out of duration. Loda, though, finds himself a double damage. If you can find anybody right about now, even Undying would just get shredded. I think he's seen Undying, he's like, I could eat that. That looks tasty. But in the end, it looks, oh no, he might actually get his Undying snack. There's the first net. Second net coming right up. No, too slow, Chen. Funnick disappearing into the fog there. Of course, you got that ramp. There is permanent fog there. You cannot see into that unless you actually physically stand in it. Wards will do you no good. See Sven blowing his charge of Muskmans. We'll be back up in a second. Nugget style. There's a Manta style as well. All done. They're going to try and take this bottom tower, but this is exactly what NTH do. Counter pushing while their towers are being pushed. Even though they're only threatening one tower at the moment, that's perfectly fine. There's the Siren though. Naga Siren jumping in. Going to set up this fight. However, they're coming in too slow. A complete waste. The Radiance is done burning them down. Naga Siren getting caught out of position. Naga Siren said the Soul Rip is too slow. There goes Twin-Headed Dragons. Well, freezing fields there for Crystal Man. Chenny healing her up. Crystal Man will get away successfully. There we go. S4 going for the stun. Doesn't quite get it. Slow there on SS. Double slow there from the wards. The tiny trap slowing him down, catching him up. The burn there from the bear too much, and a triple kill. 5 heroes down. A buyback from Queen of Pain, but it's not enough. Here comes a charge from No Tidehunter. They smell blood. They see one hero up. There are no buybacks except for Queen of Pain. They can tear through this tower. There we go. The creep armored up. They're going for this Shenny's hero as well. Mech is up in 15 seconds. They'll have it up in time when the next clash comes. Do they have mana though? Crystal Maiden, no, not really. No arcane boots on Chen. They could really use something to sustain it, but they get the racks. A 24-minute racks. GG is called. Empire have been knocked down a peg by No Tidehunter. Empire, I mean, short of Na'Vi, in the Western scene, these guys are definitely one of the favourite teams. And I think they're pinging this saying, what a juke there. I hope you remember this juke by Bulldog. Remember this name. Big plays from Bulldog today. No matter how badly he fails next game, that's definitely going to be a hell of a highlight, I think. Anyway, guys, it looks like I said, basically, if they held on long enough, it's just came to the fact they managed to counter push. I feel like Empire, they didn't put on as much pressure as they could. I feel like they definitely slacked a bit, but as it is, at the very least, I mean, No Time, they did exactly what they needed to do. You saw them, when they had it now being pushed, they didn't sit there and try and fight 5v5. They split up and said, alright, you push one tower, we push two. And even if we don't get those towers, we lay the pressure on, force you to drop back, and then when we take a second run at it, it's already damaged and we'll push it that much faster. So the counter pressure there from NTH, very, very effective. But guys, stay tuned. We're going to have a 5-minute commercial break and then we'll be back with Game 2, No Tidehunter versus Empire. No Tidehunter looking to cause a major upset, I think, here against Empire. Empire, one of the biggest names in Dota 2, Western Dota 2 right now. Stay tuned, guys. Game 2 coming right up.